This is a quick review of this mic, Fifine K688CT, a mouthful. It was sent to me for free, so treat it with a grain of salt, but originally I was not interested because I have a dynamic mic already, Shure SM58, the classic. But since I'm building the studio, I decided to give it a try, and I have to say I'm positively surprised. Also, SM58 has a bit of a weird shape to be used on the mic arm because it tends to catch things with the cable. And this video is recorded using these both mics with no audio post-processing. I might add some voice isolation in post because my Godox F600BI ballast seems louder lately. I will put that information on the screen if I do so. It is all recorded directly to Sony FX30 via XLR handle. As you can see, I am using pop filter with this mic, and it is not for the aesthetics, but because it is prone to plosives. Let me show you without the pop filter. These are Harvard sentences number 3. The small pup gnawed the hole in the sock. The fish twisted and turned on the bent hook. Press the pants and sew a button on the vest. The swan dive was far short of perfect. The beauty of the view stunned the young boy. 2 blue fish swam in the tank. Her purse was full of useless trash. The colt reared and threw the tall rider. It snowed, rained and hailed the same morning. Read verse out loud for pleasure. I exaggerated the plosives a bit, but you get the idea. And now with a pop filter. The small pup gnawed a hole in the sock. The fish twisted and turned on the bent hook, pressed the pants and sew a button on the vest. The swan dive was far short of perfect. The beauty of the view stunned the young boy. The blue fish swam in the tank. Her purse was full of useless trash. The colt reared and threw the tall rider. It snowed, rained and hailed the same morning. Read verse out loud for pleasure. So, in my opinion, a pop filter is a must for this mic unless you are aware of what you are saying and how you are saying it. But sometimes when I'm excited about the topic of the video, I would not control my voice, so all the plosives will end up breaching reasonable sound levels. Sure, you can eliminate that problem with 32-bit float recording, but why bother in post when you can eliminate that issue with just $3 pop filter? And this mic is an XLR mic, but also USB-C mic, which makes it much more flexible than my Shure SM58. What is even better is that you can record via XLR and USB-C at the same time, and you can control the gain separately for both. XLR on your recording device and USB-C via the knob on the mic. It also has a headphones out so you can monitor your audio. I personally use USB recordings a lot for this and my other channels, both when I showcase something with my iPad via the screen recording or when I actually record with my iPad or phone. I tend to use DJI Mic 3 or Mic Mini for this, but since I usually stare down at the iPad monitor while recording, so I bend over it, these mics tend to create some rubbing noises against my clothing. This one solves that issue because I'm not touching it. And it comes with a desk stand. I'm also positively surprised that this stand keeps the position really well, although it has some handling noises. So if you plan to record a podcast, you have to be aware not to speak when fixing the mic position. Also, when you record top-down shots, a rumble is introduced into the recording when you bang the desk with the item you are reviewing or with your hand. So I bought a much more expensive stand, Elgato Wave Make 2, to see if this will be any better with a different, better in theory stand. And these are the handling noises of the included stand. 1, 2, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. I'm adjusting the stand. Mic check, mic check. Can you hear it? And now the test of putting down the item on the desk, which usually happens when I'm recording a review with a top-down shot. So I'm putting my MacBook Air on the desk quite gently. And now I'm tapping my fingers on the desk, which also happens quite often when you record the top-down. And now I will switch the stands to see if the more expensive one helps. So now the mics are swapped and Fifine is connected to the Elgato arm, and I will check if the handling noises and the rumble from putting stuff on the desk is the same. So regarding the handling noises, 1, 2, 3, mic test. Can you hear any handling noises? I may bang also. Like you probably hear the noise recorded, but I'm not sure they transfer or not via shock mount like on the original mount. And what about the top-down shot? So putting my MacBook Air on the table gently. And now tapping with my fingers, which also happens a lot. So that's the difference in handling noises between the original stand and very expensive Elgato Wave Make 2, and you have to judge yourself if it is worth spending another $150 for more expensive stand. The small con is that I haven't figured out how to attach the pop filter to the Elgato one, so not to impact the handling noises with the pop filter, I removed it because the only option I can see is to attach it to the shock mount, but this might actually impact the handling noises because it would kinda tense the shock mount of the mic, so this recorded without the pop filter. And it seems it makes a difference, so more expensive stand might be a good purchase. My initial plan was to buy a pair of Shure SM7Bs, but first of all, the price of one is around $370 here in Poland, and you usually need a preamp like a cloud lifter, which is at least another $100 per mic. Also, SM7B sounds a bit too rich for me. Whenever I listen to the podcast recorded with it, it is not very pleasant to listen to. This one with a stand is currently at $63.99 and regular price is $79.99. Definitely great value for money. And it also has a mute button, so you can use it for your Teams and Zoom calls, and you don't need to reach your keyboard or mouse to mute yourself. I'm not 100% sure I would use this one in my final podcast studio because Fifine has some other models which I'm willing to check too. This one is definitely a very good budget option. As always, affiliate links in the description below. That's it, and cheers mate!